Oops, almost exposed myself. That was a close one. Uh, okay, that was funny. What up, friends? How are you doing? Good morning. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about this hot date my Jazzy life had for Valentine's. Oh, Jazzy. Jazzy, Jazzy, Jazzy. Okay, we all know. I don't even know where to start. Okay, we all know Jazzy has not been exactly wined and dined, swept off her feet um, before. Okay, because she's spent many years on the internet. We've seen what she's worked with. We've seen, you know, her past. You know, we've heard about lovers that she was with, and she's very clingy, which I'm very clingy, but I'm not clingy. There's different levels of clingy. Okay, I just like people. I like time. I like people to spend time with me. I'm not like, oh, let me get pregnant and let me. Jazzy is that kind of clingy where she wants to put it on you, and she wants a baby all up in her guts. Okay, and the why women do that, or women like Jazzy do that, is because they don't feel adequate enough to hold on to a man. They figure, let me start squirting out some kids and he's going to have to stay. He doesn't have a choice because I don't know what to do. I don't know how to keep somebody interested without having any babies. Okay. Let me tell you something here. Okay. I I had options. Okay. Before I got into this relationship, I had options. Okay. And that was me not putting out to anybody. I didn't give nobody shit. And they knew from the beginning, from Jump Street, that I wasn't going to, you weren't going to get nothing from me but my time. That was it. And if you got my time, you better fucking worship it, because I don't give my time to just anybody. Okay. I don't waste my time with people. No, my cutoff game is too strong. Okay. And it could be like we never met. Okay. So I had options. I had people coming to me. Okay. And I was upfront with them. And I was like, look, you're not just going to sleep with me. If I felt like it was going that way, I would, I wouldn't, I wasn't going to do it. Well, there was one instance I was willing to bend the rules for, but I didn't. Okay. It didn't happen. But in general, I just don't do that. Okay. And, I let people know up front, very upfront, when we first start messaging, like, I don't just sleep with anybody, and I just say it straight up like that, because there's not going to be any confusion. There's not going to be any, oh, you're just talking to me because you think you're going to get it. If you take that out of the equation, they're either going to leave and you don't have to worry about them, or they're going to still be interested, because that's different for somebody to stay up front, right off the bat by saying you're not going to sleep with them. You look different, you look different. They look at you in a different light, and they're like, oh, you're not. Yes, you are. And they try to change your mind. But I had options. Okay, I had like four different ways I could go, at minimum four different ways I could go. But she doesn't have anything of substance to talk about with anybody. She doesn't get to know people. I'm fucking nosy. Okay, I'll have a full report on you but this, what I did different this year, I didn't look anybody up. Okay, everybody that I was like kind of talking to or gonna start talking to or whatever, I didn't go Google them. I didn't do any investigative work on them. I didn't go look into their family. I didn't do none of that. I didn't. I'm perfectly capable of getting a full report on some on people. I can do that with my own researching skills. Okay, I do come from the true crime community. Okay, I could easily look anybody up, but this past year, I made it a point not to look anybody up, because I didn't want to know what I was gonna see. So anybody that I spoke to this past year, I didn't look you up. Just an FYI, because I didn't want to, because I was trying to do things differently. Okay, usually whatever I would look up used to sway my opinion about somebody, but instead I'm like, let's just go into this blindly, okay, and we'll just see what happens, without knowing what their background or anything like that. So I did change that about myself. Okay. I just went on pure instinct this year. Anyways, so she doesn't have any substance. Like, she doesn't talk to people. She doesn't get info. Like, it was like if she was getting to know them whenever she was doing the Q&As or whatever, whenever they're online. That's when she's getting to know people. Like, she saves it for content. She saves every single thing for content. But she doesn't get to know people. And the only way she knows how to get to people is by sleeping with them, to put it on them. And for me, I told people, I'm not sleeping with you, so don't think I'm going to sleep with you. So get that out of your head, because it's not going to happen. If you're still interested, cool, we'll still talk. So that's the first thing she did. That's how she would get so clingy with people, because she'd be fucking them already. Um, she wouldn't take her time. So she doesn't know how to be like wined and dine. We know this already. We know that she just, you know, that's her step. Like, she meets somebody, she fucks them more than once, then that's like a relationship to her. So this awkward ass fucking Valentine's Day brunch. I'm gonna call it a brunch, because there was not one person in that restaurant. There was nobody there. Like, it's like he took her to dinner when it was still daylight outside. Like, and I don't think, like, we're not stupid. Like, we know this didn't happen on Valentine's Day, because it would have been busy. It would have been like crazy. And why not go to like a sit down restaurant where there's like a host and stuff? Like, why go to like a place where, at least, like, if you go to like Olive Garden, that's my favorite restaurant. Okay, I'm just saying. I love Olive Garden. Okay, at least there's hostess there. The lights are dim. And nobody could watch the little boy. Like, what? I mean, it could just be you two. Like, it just was like a very like rushed type of, let me get some content out. Or what crossed my mind too was that maybe it wasn't even on Valentine's Day. Or, I mean, obviously it wasn't on Valentine's Day. Maybe it wasn't even this month. Like, maybe this is old footage. I did get that from this video. Like, old footage, like that's what, like, the restaurant footage. But if you notice, if she made it so awkward, like purposely not recording Chris. Either it wasn't Chris at all, or it was somebody else. But just her keeping the, it's like she barely recorded, and she wanted to put every single piece up that she recorded. Like, she didn't cut out like where she's moving the camera. Like, she included that, like moving the camera, from setting the camera down, like it was set down on the table, and she moved it to stink a bug, and then she moved it back. Like, she didn't cut that part out. This is like a supposed to be a good editor, and she didn't cut that out. And then she kept the camera low, and then you see Chris like scooting away, like he didn't want. If it was Chris, I don't even know if it was him, but like, it was just very awkward. She made it very awkward. Like, he barely agreed to do it. And like, it was just very weird. It would have been better if she just didn't post anything at all, or she would have thought about this ahead of time. This was very put together to try and, I don't know what she was trying to do, to be honest with you, because it didn't do nothing for me. I wasn't impressed. It was very awkward. Even the painting stuff. Why couldn't you go somewhere and do that? I didn't see Stinkabug the whole time they were painting. I don't know if he was asleep or whatever, but like, why not go somewhere, like, to like a painting place? That was cute. That was nice. It was different, but it didn't really. That's something you could do any old Saturday night. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just was very weird, um, and very awkward is what I'll say. But I mean, if she's happy with it, that's how she wants it. You have to tell him what you want. I've been with people in my past where I'm like, they didn't know how to they didn't know how to do things for me. So I would just straight up and tell them, like, okay, this is what I want. And they would do it, you know? I will say this one Valentine's, I had an ex who didn't have a job or anything. He would use my money to buy me my own gifts. Okay. This was like over 10 years ago. And one year I was at work. Okay. And I will say I was taken aback with this. Okay. It was so, this was like this most sweetest, and I've gotten expensive gifts before. Okay. And I guess this was a guy that didn't know, he was a guy's guy. Like he was like a real, like a dude. Like he didn't know nothing about being romantic or anything like that, you know? And do you know what he did for me? Okay, so it was Valentine's. I had to work, right? Because it's usually during the week. And when I got out of work, he picked me up and we went to his house and he made me a cake. He made me a cake. And that was like so, I think he even got me a card and then he got me like a gift or whatever. I think he got me perfume. But he made me a little cake and he frosted it and everything. Like his mom helped him make the cake for me. And that was so sweet. Like that, no one has, that's the only person in my entire life that has ever made me a cake, was this guy. And it was just so not like not like him to do that, you know, like he was not that type of person, but he wanted to do something for me. Yeah, we broke up like a month later, but but he made me a cake all by himself. He even put like strawberry in the middle and then he frosted it and he's like, and he was like I guess he didn't like the way it came out and he's like, I'm sorry, you know, my mom tried to help me make it. I was like, you made me a cake? I was not expecting that. I was not. And I was like, wow, that was like cool, you know. So I thought that's why I was surprised when we broke up like a month later. Little did I know he was cheating on me. But anyways, but yeah, so if this guy could make me a cake, Christopher, you could do better than that. Come on. Come on. And that seems like something Jazzy planned and he just went along with it, right? Like there was no thought from him. You know what I mean? So that was clearly something she put together. At least if he would have put something together, or he could have vlogged it and been like, all right, guys, I don't know how to do this, but this is, you know, come along with me, you know, to kind of document it too, would show like like his soft side, you know, because we just see him like with the way he looks at Jazzy, you know, with regret, you know. At least if he would have taken like the camera along and been like, okay, guys, babe doesn't know I'm doing this, but I'm gonna bake her a cake. And then he takes us to the store, like getting the mix, and he's like, okay, so I'm in the flower section, and him like picking out a card, you know, like I'll take this one, you know, like him deciding it. Like if we would have gone along with him and he would have just made her like a cake and like bought her like a card and flowers, if he would have documented that like that, and yeah, it's nothing like it's compared to what we get, right? But that would be so much thoughtful because you could see him actually doing it. You know what I mean? And it wouldn't be like this awkward ass Valentine's video where it's obvious that she did it and he just went along with it. And it's like she wasn't allowed to record him. You know what I mean? Anyways, good job ish. I mean, that's what you want. You know, you said in the video that you don't require much, and maybe you should level up a little bit more, ask for a little bit more for the next holiday, which will be what, your birthday, Mother's Day, Christopher, Mother's Day is in May, okay? So you have a couple of months, and it would be nice if you could document doing something for her. Like, you know, like going to the store, buying a card or whatever you want to do. Going and buying a piece of jewelry, whatever. Tickets along with you. And I think that would be different, right? I think it would. I think that'd be cool because, like I'm telling you, this dude was not like that. He was not. He was a very like a man's man. Like he was not very. You know, you know what I mean. But that was very sweet, and that's the only person in my entire life that has ever baked for me, ever. So yeah. Anyways, and I still remember it to this day. So there you go. Anyways, so I'll go ahead and let y'all go. Y'all have a good day. Happy Hump Day. Bye bye.